Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back once again to the BavSound Video Installation Guide series. We are here today in a 16228i. This is going to cover the F22 chassis back to 2013, I think is when they were released in Europe, 14 here stateside. But if your car looks like this is the car we're going to be working with. So, that being said, today we're going to actually tackle our Stage 1 speaker upgrade, and then we're going to get into our Ghost underseat upgrade as well. It's a very straightforward process in these cars. As you know, your car has no tweeters. Maybe you don't know, but there are no tweeters in this car, so we're going to create that solution for you. So we're going to be upgrading the front door speakers, the center channel speaker, and the rear deck speakers. And if you have a convertible 2 Series, again, it'll be front door, center, other front door, and then in your convertible, the speakers are in the side panels on the rear. So obviously we won't be doing that in this car, but you can still get the gist of what we're doing. So that being said, let's get started. It's a very straightforward process. There are 4 screws holding the whole door panel on. They're back here, one here, one up under here, and one right there. So they're Torx T25s. So the first thing we need to do is grab our BavSound toolkit and snag a couple of tools. So we need the screwdriver part, we need the Torx bit section, and we need the panel removal tool. That's all we're going to need for this particular system. So we need the T25, that ready to go. You could go ahead if you want. You know what? Just for a little sense of accomplishment, let's start on the very bottom. So there's just a screw down there. You'll feel it with your finger, and just unscrew it. And then look at that. You're already 5 seconds in, and you're 25% of the way done. Pretty cool. These cars are really easy to work on. They're really well built. And they go back together exactly the way they came apart. You've really done a good job with these panels. All right, so put these somewhere where you'll lose them. I'm just kidding, don't lose them. And then our plastic panel removal tool. So this is where most people struggle, because it's like, oh, it's a brand new car, this beautiful like tiger wood. We need to separate this front piece from the solid black piece. So yours could be wood, it could be, if it's an M2, it could be aluminum, carbon, whatever. So we really just want to be carefully remove this. So if you feel on the bottom side here, I can't show you that, but you'll feel it with your fingers. There's a giant tab down there. There's also another one. You know, I don't think that was these. So anyway, you can't start down there. So we take our panel removal tool with this end here. And what we want to do is get back in here, and we're going to separate these. It'll make a lot of sense when I have it off and I can show you what I've done. But you can watch kind of the technique here. And obviously these are brand new cars, so they're snug initially, for sure. But that's good. And it's going to go back on, like I said, the same way. So I got it separated, as you can see. And then we pull from the top, and it comes out like that. So there's really just 1, 2 clips, and then a couple of little, you see this top ledge here? So we come out. How did I do? Ah, that's right. So you can see this little hook here. So I think the better approach here is to pull from the top and then out and back like so. So again, you have it like this. I just want you guys to have it perfect. So we pull out and then like that, because there's this little tab here. Very easy, very concise. So now we have our T25 back here, one down low. And I did the development on this car about a year ago. Not this car, but the 2 Series. So we'll learn together. I don't remember if I've got to pull this out. I don't remember if we can access the plug from the back of the window switch. We don't have to remove it to get the door off, but we may have to remove it to unplug it from the back side. But we'll learn that momentarily, or refresh my memory, and you'll learn. All right, so all 4 speakers out. Perfect. So you can see seam here. We're separate. This will remain on the door, and then the panel itself is going to come off. So I like to start up here because we've got a flat surface to work with. So I just kind of pry in like that. Like so. Get that first screw out. Get that second one out. And then once you get most of these clips free, you can use your hands. So I'm just working my way around, and I'm using my thumbs to just exert outward pressure. I'm feeling a lot of resistance, so I'm wondering if that comes out. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've been in here. It does. Look at that. So that pops out. That is what 20 years of doing this teaches you. There's another T25. Interesting. Probably could have looked through my notes and found all this, but hey. All right. So there are 5 screws. Hey, look at that. Perfect. Okay, so now this top edge, there are male clips coming off of the door, and the panel slots onto them. So we're going to pop them out. I always start back here because we want to get them off of. So you don't do that. And then you come back here and you need your metal panel removal tool. And the reason for that is because these little plastic clips that hold the wiring harnesses in place, you got to kind of torque them out of there. So again, we just get down there like so, and they just pry right out of there. So this guy here, a little tricky, but you can see what I'm doing. Just lifting up, so we put it in. All I'm doing is finger underneath it, thumb down, lift up and out. Put it back in when you're putting the door on, like so. Then we just unplug our fancy ambient lighting, our lower panel light. Sweet, we don't have to take that out. Brilliant, I couldn't remember. That comes out like so. Unplug the light on the bottom, and voila. Couple of things to go over here in the door panel before we proceed. This is the hi-fi car, so there are no factory tweeters up here, so that's why we're using this point source coax system. For those of you with the Harman Kardon vehicles, we're going to be using our traditional mid-range driver here, a full-range mid-range driver. And then you've got this is the passenger side. We're going to take this big metal tweeter out, which is chopping your ears off, and put in our beautiful silk domed tweeter with this sexy aluminum housing. So hi-fi cars, you don't have this, so you can kind of have a beer right now or send an email or something. Those of you with HK, let me show you what we do real fast. This pulls off up here. It just pulls right off, like so, and then lifts up a little bit. It is tight in there. So you can see just a couple little tabs. Actually, you know what I should have done was you pull out from the bottom and then up. So you can see the tabs here, how that works. There's a little hook like so, and the bottom is just a tab. So out with the bottom, up with the top. And that's how you get it off. And then those of you, again, with the hi-fi system, you don't have to take this off. Leave it there. HK guys, gals, we just pop this out. There's the tweeter, like so, the factory tweeter. Actually, you can just get it out of there using your fingers. Just a couple little tabs. Bend them back. As you see, the tweeter just lifts right out. And then the new Bavsound tweeter drops right in that same location and sits nice and snug, just like the factory tweeter. We put this right back on as it came off, or we try to anyway. Just like so, and then bam, we put it right back in. You can see how sexy that, wow, that light looks really good. Can you see that? See the new tweeter in there, and then actually this needs to go around back, and I'll show you how I just did that. So this needs to come out back here, so that when we put it back on, we can just run it down. We put in the inline capacitor harness, so that's how your tweeter sits. We plug in the capacitor harness, like so, and then this plugs into the second wire coming off of the mid-range driver that you've installed here. So that's for you Harman Kardon guys and gals. Let's get to the mid-range. It's very simple to do. There's a couple things you need to make sure you do before you install it. Number one is going to be install your foam rings on the front of the point source driver. So put them on like that. And you'll notice there was a foam ring on the front of it before you applied this foam ring. This is now going to go on the back side. Again, we want this. So now we want this on the back side so that when we mount this down, there's a secondary foam ring on top of the sound deadening, which ensures an airtight seal between the front and back of the driver, but also another barrier to any sort of odd resonant frequencies. So that being said, we've got the door ready. We take our plastic panel removal tool. We're going to bring the wires out down here. So we take our plastic panel removal tool, and there's this sticky black stuff behind this little line. And all we're doing, it's just called a weather barrier. This just keeps schmutz out of the, just keeps water and noise and stuff out, mainly noise. Water's not getting back here. So we just peel it back a little bit like that. Then we take the wires from the driver, feed them through like so. You can actually kind of just feed them through wherever. Keep them down here with the main body harness. It's just down here. Pull it out like that, and then turn it around like this. Now the key back here is pulling these wires nice and tight when you put the speaker back in. So we get that sealed up like that, reinstall it, and I'll show you guys exactly how to do this. And with the door panel off, because we have our plugs on the rear of the speaker, and we did that because it allowed us to use this inverted surround, which what that does is it allows for better mid-range dispersion into the cabin. So we didn't mold the plugs into the front side of the basket like the factory driver because they're compromising that design. So, which is another reason why these point source coaxials are brilliant in these cars. So we've got everything nice and snug, like so. And then now we take this wire and we pull it tight. And then we bring it up top like that. Put it back down because it's just gummy stuff, and bam, we plug it in. Got a little extra wire like so, so just tuck it right there. Actually tuck the plug out of the way like that, and then bam, that's it. We put the door panel back together, plug everything in, and we're done. But before you do that, take a quick listen to make sure that there's sound playing. You're not going to audition it. You're not going to put this driver in, sit in the car, and go left to right. It's not going to work that way. This is a different impedance from that driver. The amplifier is going to see two different loads, and it's not going to perform as intended, which is a system. It'd be like putting one shock on your car and then going for a drive. Exactly the same. So just check for audio. Make sure it's playing. Perfect. Put the panel back on, and then we're going to shift up to the center channel and work our way around to the back. So HK guys, before we put this panel back on, we got to put our tweeter housing back in. And again, this doesn't have the tweeter housing. This isn't an HK car, but the process is the same. So we want to hook the top tab and then push in the bottom. So it only goes one way. It's really, and then we got to hook this front edge as well. So we kind of hook that front edge like that. That's hooked. Boom. Perfect. So that's how that goes back on. You can see it. It only lines up one way. It's perfect. So now, non-HK guys, let's get going. HK guys too, same thing now. So first things first, plug in the light. It's the easiest thing to forget because it's down low, and I've done it a million times. Next thing we're going to do is we would plug in our windows. Actually, you know what? Let's do this first. So with the lock handle, remember this piece right here, it's very easy for that to happen. That falls out, and then now your door will not work. So make sure that is keyed in there like so. Odds are you wouldn't have messed with that, but it's quite possible it could happen. So make sure that's done. Then take the door handle, your left hand, make sure it's closed because otherwise this will not hook properly. We put that back in. I'm going to stand up at this point. And now we're going to plug in our windows, which I took out just for posterity's sake. I needed to do some things, but you'll just plug your windows right back in, and actually I'll show you outside the car. And lastly, we plug in our ambient lighting up here. And remember, I want to show you guys this if we can get this on camera. This wire we want behind this side of the tab there. Actually, you know what? No, it falls back over. Okay, so don't worry about that. Now, we key it up right here with the lock through there. We line up this door panel. You can see they're just little female tabs, and then we just simply, I always do the top first, and then just kind of lift up a little bit, and then you'll feel all the pins line up. Boom. Panel is perfect. And then we just reinstall the screws, the trim pieces, which we'll cover. Let's just do it. We're here, we're hanging out. It's Friday. Hopefully you're watching this in your office for the first time, dreaming about upgrading the music. We're actually adding, I think we're adding, I don't remember how I spec this, but we're adding 5 speakers to the car. You Hi-Fi 1 and 2 series guys. So you really won't recognize the car after we're done with this. It's pretty cool. Now here's where we were talking about that door handle earlier. So remember we talked about that funky little tab down here. This little tab. So it keys up, just like that. And then just, whoo, don't pinch your fingers. And it just snaps right back on perfectly. That is so much better than the F30. Well done, guys, gals, BMW. All right, now our window switch. Let's get this little funky tab on it. That, so we open it. It only keys one way. Push in, latch. Back in. Again, odds are you didn't even take this out. I just took it out, and then it just snaps in like that. And lastly, our door trim piece. So we open it up. Push it back on there. Snaps right back on. That's it. Real time, I mean, no joke. I mean, we obviously took a little bit of time. Real time, start to finish, you should be able to do this in 10 minutes. It's that straightforward. So that's how we do both front doors. Again, coupe and convertible. Not too dissimilar in the active tourers. The doors are a little shorter, but the process is the same. So that's it for the front doors. We've upgraded the drivers. We're gonna shift up to the center channel and then bam, head back to the rear, and then we're gonna rock. Center channel location, 2 Series F22s. Same as a convertible as well. So all the 2 Series are just like this. So plastic panel removal tool. No metal up here. Dangerous. So all we're doing, we're prying this out. This cover. So we just lift up a little bit, lift up a little bit, lift up a little bit. I like doing this from the passenger side only because I feel like you have a slightly better view of things. There's no monitor so much in the way. You can see I'm actually using a lot of my hands here. Perfect. So in 10 years when you're watching this video, this piece might break on you. So there you have a single driver. And again, what we're doing, you HK guys, you got a separate tweeter here. So again, we would just out with the old, in with the new BAV sound. So these are held in again by T20s, just like the other ones. We've got a little angle driver in our toolkit that lets you get up here. I don't have it with, this is a different one, but we have a little angle driver that just lets you get up here like this, pull out the speaker. You'll do the same with the tweeter. And then show you how we drop in our new drivers. So just be careful up here. You don't want to drop a screw down here. Believe you me. So we get this guy out of here. And if you had an HK system, again, there'd be a secondary tweeter here. And for those of you with the Hi-Fi cars, again, we're putting another point source up here. So we are adding a tweeter. So this guy comes out. We simply unplug it. Boy, howdy. We rip up our fingers. No, I'm just kidding. And then I don't have the point source here to show you because they're still in pre-production, but I have a representative sample. So we would just pretend there's a tweeter here. And for those of you with the HK cars, this is what you'd actually be getting in conjunction with the second tweeter, which I actually might go grab. So this just drops right back in, just like the factory speaker. Pretty straightforward. Now, again, Hi-Fi cars, there's an integrated tweeter here in the point source coaxial. And HK guys, you'll get this exact driver plus a 25mm dome tweeter, silk, that's going to replace that metal one that is in there from the factory. And again, you know what? I don't have one here, but you would just drop it in, screw it in, plug it into the mid-range. It's already set up, and just it's so straightforward. So, and then that's it. We would just simply, and I'm not going to show you this process because there's a couple things I'm playing with right now in terms of development. So just screw it back down, screw everything in, snap the grill back on, and you're done. I mean, it's a no-brainer. A lot of guys actually tackle this first just to feel accomplished, like they got it done. So, But anyway, that's it. It's very straightforward. So that's going to wrap up the center channel part, and we're going to shift to the back of the car momentarily and knock that out. Rear deck, 2 series. A lot of 1 series actually as well are done this exact same way. Principally, they're the same. So the first thing we got to do, we're going to push this little button, do that, and we're going to lift this up so we can have access to the grill. Again, plastic panel removal tool. You can see we're just working this out. Boy, that is like, wow. It just wants to come out of there. Boy, howdy, yeah. All right, bam. And again, HK guys, there's a tweeter right here. Hi-Fi guys, just like the center channel, out with this one, in with the new one. Plug it in. Again, we're integrating that tweeter, so it's gonna hit this glass back here and create quite a presence in the rear soundstage. So, I mean, I could show you how to do this. You know, again, new speaker in, done. HK guys, out with the old tweeter, in with the new, you know, out with the aluminum, in with the silk. Yeah, I don't really think we need to do it. I think you guys are more than competent enough to have figured this part out. So I really just wanted to show you how to safely get out this grill, which as you can see, is held in by very, very, very flimsy little pieces of plastic. So again, if you're watching this in 2026, you might have to go get a replacement one of these. Part number 735168906. And then the other side will be a little different. But hey, look, they put the little tweeter foam in there to keep that airtight. Very smart. Well done, BMW engineering. So that's it. Super straightforward. Again, when you put your new speaker in, take a quick listen, make sure it's playing, and then pop it all back together. So that being said, grill, back end, uniform pressure. Don't push in the middle. This is pretty fragile. See? Perfect. And that's it. Same process on the other side. And again, this is applicable in a lot of 1 series as well. And it's not too dissimilar from the 3s, the 5s, the 7s, the 6s. So anyway, that wraps up how we would do the stage 1 in your 2 series. And coupes, anyway, convertibles, like I said, are a little different in the rear. And we'll have a video for that very shortly. That wraps it up, guys. Again, I can't thank you enough for joining us, being a part of the BavSound family. Check us out. You know the website, bavsound.com. We do the social media stuff, you know, the Facebooks, I don't think we do the Twitter, but I know we do the Instagram. Thanks again for joining me. Have fun. Be well. We'll see you soon.